So my name is Jamie. I'm from Chicmi. Our goal is to map out the world of fashion retail, starting in London. And I'm going to take you through the consumer products, and if we have time, a little bit about the business product behind the scenes. But at the moment, what the consumer looks like is it's a guide to London's fashion scene. So it provides information in two forms. Firstly, through the website, which you can see here, which is a guide to what's going on in London right now. So we have all the fashion sales that are on in London right now. Sales season is kind of ending in London at the moment, but we still have some sales going on like Kurt Geiger and Fat Face and that sort of thing. And then all the pop-up and sample sales that are going on now. We have quite a lot of clever tech, which hopefully I'll talk to you about shortly, about how we find out what's going on in London. It's actually quite surprisingly hard to find sample sales, but we have more of those than anyone else in London. And basically what you can see here is for the next 30 days, there are 35 sample sales happening throughout London, selling sort of discount clothes at sort of 70% off in various locations around the city. And then we have fashion events, which show fashion-related events from places that stuff like the V&A, like we had the Alexander McQueen Savage Beauty, to sort of digital events like Interlaced, which is going on today, which is all about wearables and fashion technology, and everything down to sort of McQueen the play. So anyone who's interested in fashion, there's a whole sort of background to what's going on in the fashion world around them. And then stores. So which stores are going around London, which ones are new, which ones are sort of quite hot and fashionable and sort of popular at the moment. So that's kind of the website, but what I'm also going to talk you through is the app, which is kind of where we started off based. And we're going to show you this in the simulator, obviously, if you're on your phone, this would be on your phone. But basically, when you open it, first thing it does, works out where you are. So it knows we are in Old Street right now, and shows you the stores that are nearest to you that are listed on Chicmi. So Box Park is one of them, for example. And you can see information, photos of what's going on at Box Park, information about the store itself, any reviews that are coming up in terms of what people have said about the store, and any events that are going on at that location as well. So we've just finished the Box Park summer sale. Also, wherever you are, you just click on the map, you'll get walking directions to that store. We go back, and we get a menu here where we can filter the stores, but then also we can look at sales, and it'll show you all the stores that have sales on at the moment, along with all the sample sales that are going on nearby. So we can see that if we look over here, there are 3 sample sales near our area. Click on one of them, it's a jewelry sample sale. And we can explore the rest of the area too around it, if I can work out the zoom on this thing. There we go. Oops, it's a bit awkward, isn't it? Never mind. And there's a luxury shoe sample sale over there as well. And then, similarly with events, we can see which events are nearest by. So the nearest one to us right now is Interlaced 2015, which is happening just down the road across Shoreditch High Street. So the idea of the app is that people who are interested in fashion can just open up the app at any time when they've got a free moment, see what's going on in the fashion scene around them, and just sort of go to have some retail therapy or some fashion therapy. This is kind of the beginning of where we're at. So the app is kind of increasingly popular. It's available in both English and in Mandarin Chinese. All the content automatically translates over to Mandarin Chinese. And it's especially popular with Chinese tourists at the moment, who sort of know less about London's fashion scene and use it to explore the scene, but also increasingly with London's fashion addicts as well. Behind the scenes, we have a complete retailer platform. For instance, now I'm logged in as Browns, which is a retail store, which has a number of different stores around London. And the businesses can create a business account for free, completely list all their stores, manage their profile within the app, and completely manage sort of how they appear, photos, store facilities, opening times. A lot of this integrates with third-party services, so we integrate with Google Maps and Google Places, for example, so a store can just link their store to Google Places and it keeps all the data in sync based on the Google Places listing as well, so we kind of have constantly up-to-date data. And they can also list all their sales and events to say, you know, there was a flash sale recently, and they can list which stores it's in and give information about it all through the retail platform. What's next for us is going to be adding an interface for designers to list their designer profiles and say which stores that the designers can be found at, which events the designers can be found at, and a profile for that as well. And so basically the idea is that we're going to start using this to start mapping out all of London's fashion scene, which hasn't been done before. There are sample sales guides, there are, but nothing that sort of matches all the fashion stores, sales, events, designers in a particular area, and then expand out of London internationally. And that's what we're doing right now. That's us. Thank you. Any questions?
Sorry, caught me by surprise. Didn't have the microphone. Quickly, can everybody hear properly? Somebody mentioned that they can't. Okay. Would it be better if we had a microphone? Okay, right, okay.
Cool. Oh, sorry.
They've only got 7 minutes, so...
I always talk too fast anyway.
Kevin, can you sort the other microphone out for Jamie, whilst I head over to the first question? Who's got the first question? Is it? Please, can you speak more slowly?
So can you talk a little bit more about your revenue model, and if you have any retailers on board right now that are maybe trialing with you?
Of course, so in terms of revenue model, we currently offer a freemium model for stores and events organizers to list. So it's free to list, but for a featured profile which gets slightly more exposure within the app and also gets more details like photos and extensive information, they pay a small subscription for that. And we have, I think its latest count was about 4,000 stores listed on the platform. Initially, obviously, when we launched in November last year, we seeded a lot of that to the very top-end brands. We made sure we listed ourselves just to make sure we had a good consumer base. But we started signing up quite a few brands right now, like Donna Karan, goodness, I should know these off by heart. But then, and also a whole lot of independent stores as well. There's a whole lot of independent boutiques which are adding themselves to the stores as well. So we have some revenue and quite a large store base coming on board, but we're mostly focused on building the community on both sides rather than focusing too much on revenue at the moment. We also do, as a kind of secondary form of revenue, we will convert links to store websites into affiliate links as well, which helps a little bit. Hey.
Next question. Coming round.
On the app, it seems to be that the beginning of your search is from the point of where you are, so that it's showing things that are in your area. Just out of curiosity, whether there's any other search that you can do that's not based on location. So to give an example, I live in an area of London that's really residential, and I certainly wouldn't start my day with my shopping on the basis of what's near me.
Absolutely. I mean, I think that we approach the problem in sort of two different ways, in that the app is purely about location, really. I mean, you can, even if you're, even if you are in an area which doesn't have much going on, it will show you the stuff that's far away. But it's mostly about discovering what's around you. The website, on the other hand, shows you what's going on in the city as a whole. So we kind of figured that the desktop was the way you kind of just explore what's coming up and what's going on, and the app is kind of like for immediate fashion fix. That might change over time, but that's kind of the roles they take right now. Question at the back.
Yeah, your UI on your app actually feels, your UX on your app actually feels more like a desktop app, even though obviously the UI presentation is very much built around mobile. But if you think about the way that people want to use a mobile app, the kind of things that I might want to do with a mobile app are very different from the kind of search-led approach on the desktop. So say, for example, I might want to be alerted when I've got like favourite clothing brands that I quite like Hype, for example, right? So if there's a retailer that stocks Hype and I haven't been in there before, I might want to be alerted when I pass it, or I might want to be alerted when somebody's got a sale on, or when a new range comes in a retailer that I quite like, or when there's an event on, like a show in a store that I go to. So all of those kind of alert-driven things, you don't seem to have really built your app around that, and that to me would seem a key strength of mobile. The ability to, even if you're listing events, that it's the ability of the app to tell you that something's going on that's a really important interaction mechanic, and it doesn't feel like you built. Is that me misinterpreting what you do, or
no? It's probably me explaining it badly. I mean, if you go to Box Park, for example, you have the option to save a store as a favorite. So if I save that as favorite, actually I'm not logged in, never mind. But if I save it as a favorite, then you'll see that there's a My Heart Stores section at the bottom of this list here, which shows you your favorite stores. Any store that you saved as a favorite, you'll get a push alert when a sale or event happens at that particular store. And it's great because it's when it happens at that store. So, I mean, if you sign up for these mailing lists for brands, like I'm signed up for all of them, it's just to see what's going on in the world. If you sign up for Phoenix, you'll get alerts about Phoenix in Newcastle. If you sign up for Juicy Couture, you get told about what's going on in America, not what's happening in the UK. This is literally what's happening at that store that you've chosen, at that address, which is really cool. So you could add the Hype pop-up in Box Park and get alerted only when things are happening at that particular location.
Hi.
Oh, hey.
So I've got a bit of a criticism for you on this.
Sure.
For me, it's really interesting the data you've got. You do sales, that's very good. But the actual experience of the app is very skin deep in that it only tells you there is a shop here. Have you thought about integrating with something like List, which would have all the clothes from these things? So that, just think about it, if you're at home on the evening, this is not an app you're going to pull out and like search through the sales and see what's on. But if you integrated and got all the actual products that were there, you could work out a way that you could map out a shopping trip ahead of time. You could almost click and collect to try on the things that you want to in the stores and really design your shopping experience the evening before. But with this, you kind of know which shops you're going to go to, and all you would do is see, do they have a sale on or not? But you could go a lot further down into it, say, I want to go through this route, I want to go to these shops, I want to look at these products, and you can map out. But at the moment, it's very skin deep.
You're absolutely right. I mean, the world is a horror here. I mean, one of the first things that we identified is the fact that actually fashion shoppers don't actually know what's going on in the city. I mean, it's absolutely true. I mean, if you ask anyone, when's your favorite brand got the next sample sale on or whatever, they just don't know. And so, with the data we've got at the start, that is great data and people love it and they do use it and they do look for it. We've got quite an increasing number of people using it on a daily basis to check what's going on in the city around them. But I really think that, as we build this community, the world is our oyster. Once we get these businesses on board, once we get these consumers on board, there's so much more depth we can add at every single stage in terms of social, building a social shopping profile, and integrating with sort of third parties where you can actually purchase products or purchase tickets, integrating with Eventbrite so you can actually purchase tickets to these fashion events. There is a whole wealth of stuff we can do, and hopefully we will do in future. This is kind of the starting point where we sort of launch from and then grow from.
We have time for one more question. Anyone? Or feedback, of course. Anyone? Oh, 2 hands went up at the same time. I'm going to ask Joe. I'd like to introduce Joe. He started Three Beards along with Mike at the back there. They've come incognito.
Just a quick one on user acquisition.
Yes.
Where do you get them from and what do you plan to do to get more?
For consumers, obviously we have as I say, 2 markets that are interesting. One's the Chinese tourists, one's the Chinese students, and one's the local shoppers. The Chinese tourists, we've managed to create quite a few interesting relationships with Chinese tour guides, with the Chinese Ministry of Commerce, with London and partners as well, to try and attract them at the point before they even come into the UK. And that's been going very well. And then sort of ambassador programs within universities as well we've been working at in terms of where we have brand ambassadors within student communities within universities, Chinese student communities. In terms of the London fashionistas, it's been more slow growing. We haven't really focused on it that deeply. We do quite a lot of social work, quite a lot of, social media work, quite a lot of sort of activity on Twitter, interacting with brands and stuff like that. And that's actually grown quite a good following with us, but we haven't really targeted deeply into that market yet. That's kind of growing organically.
I've got an idea for you.
Cool, excellent. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jamie. Can we have a big round of applause for Jamie?
Thank you.